Indy Mogul.
This week on Indy News, FreddieW launches a new web series, Joe Murphy uses a 3D printer to make lens adapters, Chris Hall builds a periscope for his teleprompter, and I explore TiltShift Video, talk about my new production gear, and get ready for next week's live show. Hey Indy Mogulers! Last year, Freddie Wong raised over $270,000 to produce a new web series called Video Game High School. This week, the 11-minute premiere episode hit YouTube and has already earned over 2 million views. Plus, it's complemented by a great behind-the-scenes video. Both are in today's playlist. This week in DIY... I'm sorry, let me get that real quick. Ah, sweet. This is from Joe Murphy, who made his own lens adapter to get shots like this. I saw his video on Instructables.com, and even though most of us don't have a 3D printer, I love the idea of designing your own custom lens adapter and using a 3D printer to fabricate it out of plastic. He sent me one of his extras, so let me show you how it works. By tilting the lens, we're changing the focal plane, so a shot like this becomes this, with dramatically more depth of field. We usually only see this kind of selective focus in super close-up macro photography, so this effect tricks us into thinking we're seeing something tiny. When you combine this with a high-angle shot and speed up the footage, it helps sell the miniaturization effect. You can also create this effect digitally by blurring things out, but it's cool to get the effect straight out of the camera. It's often called tilt-shift photography because it's usually done with a tilt-shift lens. But tilt and shift are two different things. Here we're only tilting the lens. It's still pointed straight at the sensor. Shift is when you move the lens so it's not pointing at the middle of the sensor anymore. This creates a distortion that's often used to make buildings, when shot from below, look straight. So shift is important for some photography, but tilt is more common in lens adapters. And it's not just for miniaturization. If I tilt the opposite direction, I can minimize depth of field. This is especially useful if I'm shooting close-up product shots but want the whole thing in focus. If you can't print your own tilt adapter, there's also products on the market, like LensBaby. And if you recall my lens whacking episode, you can actually freehand these tilt and shift effects with a DSLR, which is great if you just want to test out the effect. You may remember, in December, I built a $35 DIY teleprompter. Last week, Chris Hall modified my design for his iPad. Two things I love about this video. One, before the teleprompter, he built a DIY bracket to mount his iPad directly behind a small camera. That's cool. And then, when he built his teleprompter, he added a simple mirror system, like a periscope, to see his camera's LCD. If you don't have a flip-out LCD on your camera, that right there is a cool $26 hack for shooting video of yourself. Finally today... I'm sorry, one more time. Yes, I just ordered this. It's a GoPro Hero2. It's a tiny HD video camera that comes with a waterproof housing and cool mounting equipment, making it ideal for action sports. It only has 2 buttons on it and no manual controls or even an LCD, but it's under $300, so it's a great extra camera for special shots. You may remember Eric and Justin rented 27 of these to shoot bullet time effects for a music video. It's great for capturing documentary-style shots inside a car because of the suction cup mount, and the lens is really wide angle, kind of fisheye, so it has a big field of view. You just can't get a 2-shot inside a car with most lenses. You can buy all sorts of mounting gear to mount the GoPro on a helmet or a surfboard, but for most applications, I recommend buying the Motorsports Edition because it comes with a suction mount, which works well on most flat surfaces, like a canoe. And if you buy the $8 GoPro tripod adapter, you can build all sorts of DIY mounts. Put a 1/4-inch screw through my bike helmet cam. I also attached it to this locking clamp mechanism so I can get shots like this. I don't do action sports, but I think I'll have a lot of fun with this camera. Tell me, what would you shoot with a camera like this? Alright, enough of these interruptions, back to the news. I am so sorry. Blackmagic Intensity Extreme. It's a pricey little device, but I need it for next week's live show. Same company behind the beautiful new cinema camera. This box uses the Thunderbolt connection on my Mac to capture video through an HDMI connection. And more importantly, I can feed live video now from my camera to my computer for live streaming. So next Monday, Memorial Day, I'm attempting the first live episode of Indy News. I'll use all the same gear I normally use to produce an episode like this, and I'll cover the same sort of filmmaking news and tips, but it'll be streamed in real time. That means live audience interaction. You can ask me questions. So on Monday, May 28th, I'm doing 2 live shows. I want to make sure lots of people can participate. You can catch me at 2 p.m. Eastern Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're in London, that's 7 p.m. and 2 a.m. And if you're in California, that's 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. So again, that's 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. in New York. So please join me for one or both episodes, and hopefully I can pull this off. Or maybe you want me to completely crash and burn. Either way, it should be a lot of fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to it. On today's playlist, I have FreddieW's new show, Video Game High School, followed by the behind the scenes video, Joe Murphy's 3D printed tilt lens adapter, and if you like his video, you should consider voting for him in Instructable.com's Make It Real challenge. The link is in the description. And finally, we have Chris Hall's iPad teleprompter. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you back here Wednesday for the Awesome Directors Project, Friday on Friday 101, and Monday for the first Indie News live show. And if you need some advice from fellow filmmakers, join the conversation at the Indie Mogul forums at forum.indymogul.com.